Many people think that they're failing because they're not actually talented enough. No, but sometimes the real problem is the environment that you're living in every single day of your life. Understand? And then the surroundings, the people that are around you, the conversations that are actually around you, most importantly, the energy that's actually around you. Those things are actually shaping your life. They're also shaping your reality without you even realizing about that. Trying to also figure that out. Why the environment really matters. This is very important. Human beings adapt to every whatever thing that they actually see constantly. Like when you are always seeing cars every day, seeing houses every day, seeing everything that moves around you. You adapt to that, isn't it? So we have four pillars. We have four pillars in why we say environment matters. We have energy, we have influence, we have mindset exposure, and we also have daily surroundings. So talking about energy, let's talk about your environment, talking about where you are actually located, or talking about your workplace, talking about where you usually chill, or so the places that you are chilling at, what kind of energy do you consume? What kind of energy do they bring to your perspective, to you as an individual? Do they make you become more of who you are? Do they make you to work harder on your goals? Do they give you a high frequency energy that can actually allow you to do the best of what you usually do? Or do they reduce your energy? Because it's very important. The environment can enhance your productivity, it can enhance your ideas, it can enhance your whatever thing that you're doing, your goals, it can enhance you to do better in what you do. But the energy can also do the opposite. The environment can affect you. The energy of the environment, it can affect you. Do you understand? It can make you to work less of what you do. It can make your priorities to no more align. It can make things to go astray. It can make things to be different, not the way you want it to do. Do you understand? So talking about influence is important. Talking about also the workplace, maybe going to a mall, maybe going to your area, maybe going somewhere. That specific environment has a very, very powerful influence around you, especially. So let's say the people that you're hanging out with in that specific environment, what kind of influence do they bring to you? Do they make you smoke? Do they make you drink? Do they make you do things that are not aligning with what you do? That's bad influence. That means the environment, it's a bad influence to what you're trying to build as an individual. Do you understand? So that's why it's very necessary for you to always focus more on your surroundings. You need to protect your space. Protect the people who are coming in your space. Protect the things that you're doing, conversations, whatever, people. You need to protect your environment. You need to look at what influences you as an individual. Those things are very important. So people don't really take those things into accountability. But I advise you to take that into accountability, because that can really affect you, especially if you really want to achieve, or if you want to be someone in life. You understand? So another thing which is very important, mindset exposure. So the environment, when we talk about environment, we're not talking about just an environment. We're talking about also the things that are in that environment, people, everything that's there. Do you understand? How does that thing influence you? Is the environment enhancing your goals? If you want to achieve something, if you want to be a gym instructor, do the environment inspire you to do more of that? Or does the environment make you do this? Do you understand? Those things are priorities. They become habits that you need to identify every single time. You understand? You need to always be in an environment that pushes you to do more of what you want to do, to achieve more of what you really want to achieve in this life. So it's very important for you to understand these dynamics. They're very, very important. Your mindset, the environment can affect your reasoning, it can affect your mindset. It can make you lazy if you're not lazy. It can make you to start developing habits that are making you to go astray from what you really want to achieve. So you need to take all those things into consideration. Lastly, but importantly, your daily surroundings. What do you do every day in that environment? Does that environment allow you to do the things that are actually aligning you with your goal? Does that environment give you the opportunity to work harder on the things that you want to achieve? Does the environment give you motivation? Let's not talk about motivation. Does it give you inspiration, perseverance? Does it give you the urge, the hunger to even strive more? Or does the environment do the opposite of what I'm saying? So those key factors are important. So look at the energy the environment brings, look at the influence, look at the mindset exposure, and also look at the daily surroundings of the environment. And if the environment is not actually aligning with those things, that you need to move to a different environment where it can actually change those things into positive rather than leaving them into a negative state.
The wrong environment. You cannot think differently if you are surrounded by people who fear to grow. I'm saying that. You can never think differently if you are surrounded by people who fear to face challenge, who fear to change, who fears to grow. I mean, like talking about, we have 5 precautions why we're saying that it's important for you to be very focused on your environment. Is that the first one is negativity. The second one is laziness. The third one is lack of ambition. The fourth one is toxic conversations, and lastly, distraction culture. So talking about negativity is very important. I mean, like, it comes with a lot of principles, a lot of perspectives, talking about your perspective, your mindset, whatever thing that you really want to achieve. So if you are in an environment where you're surrounded by people who doesn't want to face challenge, who doesn't want to go through the process of pain, the process of growth, what do you expect will really happen to you? It's obvious that you're not going to grow also, because hence we say that human beings adapt to things that they see constantly. So it's going to become normal to you because that's what you see every day. You are always surrounded by people who have that kind of mindset, that kind of mentality, who are doing exactly the same things as that, right? Who have a negative mentality, they have negativity in everything they do, so you're going to become negative too. Secondly, laziness. You are always surrounded by people who are lazy. They don't like going to the gym, they don't like being productive, they don't like having challenge, they are not creative, they don't like doing things that matters, they don't like putting efforts to allow their dreams or their dreams, whatever vision, to come to reality, because you have to pay the price for you to be successful, isn't it? They don't want to go through that process. They don't want to do that. They just always want things to just be the way they are. They're afraid of change and things like that. So you're going to get used to that if you don't actually deal with that wrong environment. If everything is really affecting your growth, your mindset, your perspective, your productivity, you need to move from that location, go to a different environment, or change your surroundings. I mean, like anything that's proximity to you, it's very important for you to take those things into consideration. Do you understand? So we're talking about the lack of ambition. You are surrounded by people who don't have ambition at all. They just do things because of the fun of it. They don't have goals, they don't have a vision, they don't have things that they really want to achieve. But you're always surrounding yourself with people who do that. What do you expect? What kind of results do you expect to gain from that? You don't want to open your own business. You don't want to have something productive for yourself. You don't want to create something for yourself. You're always around people who just want to do things that they're told to do. They're always hanging around chasing women, doing things that are not necessary. They're just always there procrastinating and making excuses every single day, now and then. So what kind of person are you going to become if you don't change that wrong surrounding? You need to first look at what's actually proximity to you and start to make a difference. Do you understand? So we're talking about toxic conversations. If you're always around people who are toxic, I mean, like, toxic people is people who are they talk very bad about things. I mean, like, you have those very toxic conversations with people, conversations that doesn't even lead you to anything. when you're talking about building a business, you're surrounding yourself with people who have excuses, like they have negative agendas, they have negative perspectives about opening a business. They will tell you that you don't have enough money, you cannot run a business, you need people to teach you, you need to go to school and learn about business. They're gonna tell you all sort of nonsense. You know, one of my friends, one of my colleagues there, he studied business, but he failed to open a business. Now he's working at this other store. You understand? They tell you all this nonsense. So are you gonna always be there, waste your time listening to this kind of nonsense every day, listening to people talking about rubbish? They talk about nonsense, they tell you about all these mediocre things. Guys, we don't have time, so we need to try to take this into consideration. Try to be around people who can uplift you. People who can make you realize what you're capable of. Not being around people who see less of you. They see a person of you that doesn't achieve. They see a person of you that's lacking. Then they tell you that accept your situation. What's that? I'm talking about distraction culture. Distraction culture is, you know, whatever thing, people who are, let's say, talking about a group of people who, I mean, like they always have their own agenda about things. You know, they like to pick up things. They like to pick out this and that. This is good, this is bad. Like those people who like to judge good things. When you are making money, they say that you are evil. They say that you're not godly. They talk about, do you understand? So try to avoid those kind of people around your space. You need to be around people that can make you become the best of yourself. I realize that people don't want to go through pain. People don't want to pay the price of pain. People don't want to pay the price of pain. I remember Luke Belmer when he said that people, they don't want to pay the price of pain. They love comfort. They love to live a life that's designed for them to live. They don't want to break the system and live a life that they want to live. You understand? Try to be productive. Try and do things that matters. Challenge yourself daily. Do difficult things. Learn skills. Do those things and try and see what happens. Because if you don't control your mind, then the people who surround you will control you. I remember Plato, he said that a man that focuses on things that he cannot control, he's already failed. But a man that can focus on things that he can control is already successful. What he meant by that, he meant that focus on the things that you can change with your hands, with your mind. You understand? You can change your friends, you can change your surroundings. Those things are in your control. And things that are out of your control, we understand, but things that you can change. By changing the things that are in your control, you have made a very huge move for yourself. So take that into consideration. Talking about social media and mental programming, this is important. Your mind becomes whatever you feed it every single day. Do you understand? Whatever you feed your mind on a daily basis, you must understand that's what your mind becomes. Whatever you feed your mind becomes that every single day. So why are we saying that? So we have 4 key factors why we say. The first one is endless scrolling. Endless scrolling. Comparison. Distraction. Entertainment addiction. So that's why we're talking about social media, and we're also talking about how social media creates a mental programming. How it creates a mental programming in your mindset. It's very important for you to understand these things, because when we talk about endless scrolling, we're talking about a person that doesn't use social media as a platform to distribute your own ideas, to distribute your own perspective. What is it that you want to contribute in the society? What is it that you want to allow the society to acknowledge through that? But what we do is we always do endless scrolling. We always scroll every time. And the reason why we're talking about this is because what it does is that it programs you to be a specific individual.
I mean, like social media, I don't really think that it's designed to make you a better person. No. I think social media is there to separate us as individuals. It exposes more of who you are. I mean, like, if you are a person that creates, if you're a person that loves creating, a person that distributes, people will notice, because you will no longer be scrolling. You will be the one, people will be the ones scrolling for your work, isn't it? I mean, like, social media is not a bad thing. It's good, but it's also bad, because it reveals more of who you are. So when we talk about endless scrolling, we're talking about people who are just scrolling endless on social media. You're spending a lot of time on social media instead of you trying to focus on what really matters in your life. I mean, like, what is it that you really want to achieve? What is it that you really want to do in this life? What do you want to contribute? Those are the questions and factors that you need to understand and put them into your perspective. The reason why people don't really try to do those kind of perspectives, it's surprising because they don't really do those things. They do endless schooling, and then you don't understand, you don't realize how social media changes you. It changes you from the core. You become what they want you to be by always showing you the things that they want you to think about. When we talk about comparison, look at how social media makes people to become so judgmental. Like, you judge people too much on social media. You know, it creates different types of agendas. I mean, like, this person is not nice, look at his hair, do you understand? It creates a lot of comparison. It puts people, it removes the thing of equality, it destroys equality in men and women. What it does is, it creates superiority. I mean, like, that one is better than this one is better than that. No, men has to be like this, no, women have to be like this. These things are distracting you. Social media is really distracting you from the most important thing. You become distracted to a point where you forget what is it that you really wanted to do in your life. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you really want to build for yourself? Not for people, but for you. What are you building in your own universe? People to be in your universe, they need to know what they're gonna gain. Like, this life is its own universe, isn't it? There's a lot of there's animals, there's trees, there's a lot of fascinating things. There's rain, there's the sun. What are you building in your own universe? What are you building in your own universe? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Build a life to a point where people won't even ask you questions. People would want to live in your life. Do you understand? So, talking about comparison, social media it's creating a mental programming, so that people they make you think that this kind of life is normal. Like, it's programming your mentality. It moves you from what really matters. It makes you focus on all these mediocre things that are not really necessary, things that doesn't really work in your own favor. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, talking about distractions, social media is one of the biggest distractions that you can ever come across. Social media is a distraction if you don't know who you are. If you have not yet mastered who you are, it's gonna affect you badly. It's going to affect you badly because you don't know who you are. That's why Machiavelli said that a man must first conquer himself before he can conquer others. If you cannot conquer your mind, if you cannot conquer your emotions, if you cannot conquer your actions, who are you going to conquer outside? Who are you going to control if you cannot control yourself? If you cannot manage yourself, who are you going to manage? You need to ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself those questions. Every terminology has its own meaning. They cannot name something just to name something. They name something for a specific purpose. Do you understand? So it's very important. So you must look at the things that are really distracting you.
When you stop scrolling on social media for a week, try that. Stop scrolling on social media for a week and take the time to invest it in something that you want to build, in something that you want to create, in something that you want to do, instead of scrolling. And then you will see if social media really works in your favor or against it. Do you understand? Another thing is entertainment addiction. Guys, we are not saying that social media is a total bad thing, no. We get bored sometimes, yes, it can, uplift you at some point, but why don't you use it for things why don't you use social media as a mental programming for what you want to create, rather than for you to make an angle scrolling over the phone and not knowing what you're doing, wasting time. Why don't you use it as a way to distribute? There's a lot of audience there, there's a lot of people who are waiting for something new. Why don't you use it to expose yourself? Not yourself, but expose what you want to do. Because I think it becomes a form of reference. It teaches you more. You learn from what is not right. You learn from those things. As long as you're aligning yourself with what really matters, that's the only thing that you really need to do. Guys, stop being addicted to social media like that. Don't be addicted. Use it for something that aligns with what you want to do. I see people scrolling on social media, talking about social media every single day. People are on their phones. For what? They don't even know why they're on their phones. So what about you? What are you building for yourself? Because you are a seed, isn't it? You are a seed. You need to nurture yourself every single day so that you grow into something. You bear fruits. You need to grow into something, my friend. What are you going to do? What are you doing? How are you using social media? How is social media programming your mindset? So guys, try and focus on these things. Your mind becomes whatever you feed it daily. So whatever you feed yourself on social media endlessly, that's the kind of person you become. You'll be a person that is always on social media. You'll become a person that is always comparing things. You'll become a person that's always distracted. You'll become a person that's always addicted to entertainment. You will always want, entertainment will become your dopamine. You will want something that will always keep you in that situation. So guys, for yourself, sometimes changing your environment changes your entire future. You find that maybe you're working hard on the environment, you're trying to make changes, but you're always constant, like there's no improvement, there's nothing that's actually happening in that environment. It is going to require you to make changes. You will have to change your environment. Why do we say that? Is that how to make it better? There are 5 principles that we can actually say is, the first one is books. Secondly, podcast, mentors, discipline routines, and focus spaces. So first, let's talk about books. I love this one because it's very interesting and very fascinating why we prefer to talk about this one. Why am I saying that? Is because when we are talking about books, each and every one of us have goals. Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to be a successful person? How can you become a successful entrepreneur? You need to learn from people who are already successful in the industry. Do you understand? So how do? You need to read books that aligns with what you want to become. You don't just read all random books. No, you read books that aligns with what you want to become. If you want to be a broker, you need to a real estate owner. You need to read books that talks about real estate. If you want to be a doctor, you need to read books that align with doctor. Guys, let's be realistic. Let's talk about that, because if you want to be something, you need to surround yourself with people who are that specific thing. Not people who want to be, but you can. But I don't really think that you're going to learn more from them, right? You need to be with people who are really successful in the industry so that they can advise you well, so that they can show you, teach you in a way that you will know Do you understand? So books, read the books that aligns with who you are. That's how you start changing the environment. Read books that aligns with what you really want to achieve or whatever you're doing at the moment. Secondly, talking about podcasts, listen to podcasts that aligns with what you want to achieve. Podcasts that talks about self-development, podcasts that talks about entrepreneurship if you want to be an entrepreneur. Podcasts that aligns with goals that you want to, that talks about discipline, that talks about self-development, self-mastery. If you're able to master the mind, you can master anything. Do you understand? So, look, even it's not podcast, even webinars, listen to those things that aligns with you. What is it that you really want to do? What is it that you really want to achieve? What kind of person do you want to become? Do you understand? Listen to those kind of things and focus more on those things because they're going to help you a lot in everything that you do. They're going to help you and you're going to be more productive in whatever you do. Do you understand? So talking about mentorships, you're talking about mentors, like what are your mentors? Like who are the people that really inspire you? We have Vosi Tembagwayo, we have Elon Musk, we have Max Zuckerberg, we have Jeff Bezos, there's a lot of successful mentors, aren't they? Name them. There's a lot of successful Denzel Washington, we have actors, we have artists. What is it that you want to do, my friend? What is it that you want to become? There are a lot of mentors that can inspire you there. It could be your father, it could be a member of your family, it could be a lot of things, it could be your friends, your successful friend, it could be your neighbor. There's a lot of people who can be your mentors. Go around people who are successful in your industry. Be around those people and learn from them. That's how you become successful. Do you understand? That's how you do. And surround yourself with people who look up to what you're looking up to. That's it. Then you'll never go astray, isn't it? So when we talk about disciplined routines, look at how this mentors of yours that you really want to be, or you want to be better than them, or you want to be more like them. Look at their habits. Look at what they do every day. Look at what they do. Do you understand? Learn more. Read books about them. Let them teach you their ways. They will never give you all the information, yes, but the small key points, the small key words that they leave out there for you, they are priceless. They are very priceless. And I don't really think that they want you to go through the journey as an individual to suffer the way they did, because it was a different generation back then. So for you, it's easy because there's a lot of access, but if you don't have ideas, if you don't have skills, you're not going to do anything. You need to have ideas, you need to have skills, you need to build things for yourself. So this mentors will teach you discipline routines. It means that you're running a business, it doesn't matter how you feel this morning, or you're having pains, or it doesn't matter, the business doesn't care. You will have to perform like the way the universe operates. It doesn't care about your pains. You're feeling pains today, it will keep on doing what it has to. So the same thing as you need to operate like the universe, the way it does. Do you understand? So try and focus on those things and see what can actually happen for you. It's not difficult, it's hard, but rather sacrifice this small, mediocre gratifications for something that you can enjoy for the rest of your life. Isn't that worth it? Talking about focused spaces, we talk about your space, isn't it? The things that are proximity to you, are they directing you to what you do? Are they really directing you to what you really want to be or to achieve? Or are they just allowing you to be in that space? And you try to really focus on those things and see what really happens, because it's very, very important for you as an individual to try and understand and look at these things at a broader perspective. Try to see this at a bigger perspective. It's not easy, we understand that, but if you can try and see these things, you will see that it's not as hard as they say it, because they try by all means to make things to look like you cannot achieve it, but it's not like that. Do you understand? So look at your surroundings and look at what you do every day. Look at what you listen to, what you watch, the people around you, what are they talking about, what are they eating, what do they do every day, the kind of conversations. Listen to, be observant. Do you understand? Learn to be more quiet and try to observe. Do you understand? I remember Machiavelli said that a dangerous man is a dangerous man is a man that always knows that he knows nothing. What he does is he always keeps quiet, especially in environments where he has to learn. I mean, like, as much as you know nothing. If you think that you know, you remain constant. That's where you will end, my friend. You need to learn, even when you know, even when you're successful, even when you're skilled, you still have to learn. That's what Niccolo Machiavelli said. Niccolo Machiavelli, that's what he said. A man that always learns behavior. He learns behavior rather than words. Do you understand? He learns actions rather than words. That's Machiavelli. He doesn't listen to what you say, he listens to what you do. That's it. So don't always surround yourself with people who say things and then the things that they say don't align with what they do. Don't talk about things that you don't do, my friend. Don't do that. You understand? So I hope that since you're still watching until now, I hope that you're learning something valuable, and we would really love it for you guys to share your comments. It's very good for you to share your comments. We really love that a lot. If you can actually do that, it will actually be an honor watching till this far. So we want to leave you, since we reached the end of the episode, we want to leave you with this. Protect your mind, protect your energy, protect your future, because the environment you tolerate today eventually becomes the life you live tomorrow. This is Knowledge Enlightenment Podcast. See you soon on the next episode.